So this is number 65, the law of sines and the law of cosines. What are the law of sines and laws of cosines? We're going to use both of them to solve triangles. So prior to today, when we talked about sine and cosine, we talked about them in respect to right triangles only, right? But I can use the law of sines and the law of cosines to solve any triangle. And when I say solve a triangle, I'm saying that I can find the length of all the sides and the measure of all the angles by using the law of sines and law of cosines. So you got 2 cards today, one for each one, and then we're going to just do some problems to apply it, and that will be it. So I'll give you a minute to get this written. Okay, so we're going to start off with the first card, which is the law of sines. So this is 124. So I'll let you write this down, and then we're going to talk about when we can use this and use it to solve triangles. Okay, so I'm going to look at what angles I have, and those. So first, let's just write out the law of sines. Okay, so that's going to be the sine. Oops. So that's going to be the sine of P over P is equal to the sine of Q over Q, and that's equal to the sine of R over R, right? So I have angle R and I have angle P. So those are the 2 things that I'm going to use to write my law of sines. So the sine of P is 17 over, across from 17 would be side P, so it's just 17. And that is equal to the sine of R, which is 29, and then across from 29 would be 8. So now this is just like a proportion. I'm going to define the cross product to get P. So P sine 29 is equal to 8 times the sine of 17. Then in order to solve for P, I'm going to divide both sides by the sine of 29. And that's going to get me P. What I see here is exactly what I'm going to put in my calculator. And I'm going to write it down. So that I can do it. Okay, so what I see here is exactly what I'm going to put in my calculator. So let's go to the calculator and we'll come back to this. Okay, so I'm going to put my fraction in the numerator. I'm going to put 8 sine of 17. And in the denominator, I'm going to put 29. Okay. Did I put 8 sine 17 divided by 29? Yeah, okay, I can't see. Okay, and so then I come up with 0.08. Okay. Round to the nearest 2. That's a good question. Let me go back here and see, because I don't know. Look and see what I did. Oh, you're right. Thank you. Not y'all. Y'all not right. Y'all didn't say that. This should be sine of 29. Don't try to tell me that. Why you didn't say anything? Because what? See, that's what's wrong. That's what's wrong. Somebody else said it. Okay, let me go back. What they say? Now they sound like more like some sense. Okay. 4.82. Okay. After this, I'm just gonna put it in my calculator because I'm not gonna keep switching back and forth because it's just too much. So y'all pull up the calculator on your computer so you can do them yourself. And I'm gonna do them on my phone because switching back and forth is giving me a headache. I'm getting dizzy. Okay, so P is approximately, it's not exact, 4.8. Okay. All right, next. The next situation is when you have angle side angle. So here I have angle B and angle A, and then I have the side between them two, right? So I'm gonna do the, if this is if this is angle A, then this is side A. Then this is side A. If this is angle B, then this is side B. If this is C, then this is side C, right? So they want us to find X, which is down here at B, and we can use X, that's fine. So we're gonna do, if I decided I wanted to do 57 for angle A, I don't know the length of side A, so that's not gonna help me. That's two things that I wouldn't know. I need to do B because that's gonna be what I use to find X. So I'm gonna say the sine of 50 over X, but A is not gonna work because that gives me an unknown. C also has an unknown, this angle. However, this is a triangle, right? So if this is a triangle, then what does this angle have to be? $73, right? Because it has to equal 180. So then I can do the sine of 73 over 6. And now I can figure it out. X times the sine of 73, excuse me, is equal to 6 times the sine of 50. We're going to divide both by the sine of 73. And then this is what I'm going to put in my calculator. All of this right here to get me X. So somebody put it in their calculator. I'm going to put it in mine. And what do we get for X? What do we get for X? Huh? Yep. So X is approximately 4.8. Questions? All right, next. Oh, Calicia, are you using your phone or are you using the computer on the are you using the calculator on the computer? Okay, make sure right there in the middle where it says RAD and DEG that you are using degree. The one that says DEG. And if you are, then push enter again and you should get a different value. Were you on DEG? And you still got 2.3? And you put in this right here, this right here. Did you use the AB button to make a fraction first? Are you using Desmos? What are you using? What calculator are you using? Oh, that's not going to work because if you use the calculator for the search, you have to make sure that you input the information correctly. So you would need to put parentheses 6 sine of open parentheses 50 close divided by open parentheses sine open parentheses 73 close. So with that, you have to make sure you have all your parentheses to group everything properly. But just search Desmos, use Desmos because it's easier and it's going to resemble more of what you see when you're using like an actual physical graphing calculator. Okay? And you also need to make sure that let me look at something real quick. And I'm glad that we have that. Let me see. Let me look at something. Calicia got a different answer and she says she's just using the calculator that's on the Google search. So if I just type, what was it that I needed to type in? 6 sine of 50 sine of 73. So that's what you typed in, right? But if you notice, it doesn't tell you whether or not you're okay. See right here? See how that says radians? That means you're in radians. So you have to click this RAD to put you in degrees. Does it say degrees now? And 6 sine of 50 divided by sine of 73 now gets you the correct answer. Is this the right answer, right? Was it 6 sine of 50? Did I type it in right? Because wasn't it 4.8? Is this 6 sine of 50 divided by sine of 73? Did I put it in right? Okay. So now let's look again. 6 sine of 50 divided by the sine of 73. Sine 50. Okay. 50 divided by divided by, open parentheses, sine. Divided by sine of 73 close quotes. That's right. So you got to make sure that you put in all the, am I still sharing my screen? Okay, you got to make sure that you put in all, can you see the calculator? Okay, you got to make sure that you put in all the parentheses to get the right answer. That's why I'm saying it is much easier just to use Desmos, because the Desmos is going to look like what you have on your calculator. You quickly create a fraction. You know what goes in the top. You know what goes in the bottom. And you can get your answer a lot quickly. Okay? So that Google one, it works, but a calculator is only going to do what you tell it to do. And if you are not specific in what you're telling it, then it won't get you the correct answer. All right, now let's move forward. Next card, law of cosines. Y'all got it? Almost? All right. So the law of cosines looks like it's really difficult. But I'm gonna give you like just a little hint so that you can see and understand it better. So if you're trying to find A, like the side length of A, then you're gonna use angle A and you're gonna use the other two sides. So if you look, A squared is B squared plus C squared minus 2BC. So you're using B and C to get the side length of A. Same thing for B. You're using A and C. So you're using the other two angles to get one of the sides. So let's just look at it and then use it because it can be a little bit tricky. Just trying to remember. So you can use the law of cosines with side angle side. This is telling us that we need to find x. So we don't have enough information to use law of sines because we only have one angle. In order to use one angle, or in order to find a side, we need to have two angles. Okay, so we're going to use the law of cosines. Okay, so I have x and x. I know across from y is going to be y. Sorry, you're making me mad. Okay, so across from y is going. This is going to be y, and then this is z. So this is going to be my little z. Okay. Okay, so we need to find x. So that means we're going to have x squared, right? And we're going to use the other two sides. So x squared is equal to y squared plus z squared. So that's my other two sides. And then minus 2 times y times z. And I'm putting it in parentheses because it will be easier when we put it in our calculator. And then times the cosine of the big X. Okay. All right, so now all we need to do is fill the stuff in that we know. So x squared, we don't know. And y squared is going to be 11 squared plus 25 squared minus 2 times 11 times the cosine. Oops. 2 times 11 times 25 times the cosine of 45, right? Now, here's what is amazing. Everything that you see on the right side of the equal sign, just put it in your calculator, just like that. Don't make it harder than it is. Just pop it in your calculator. I'm gonna do it on my phone, y'all do it on the computer. Make sure you put the parentheses just like I have them. Did everybody get 357.09 and some more numbers? Okay, but we're not done because that number is x squared, right? Okay, so then you're going to find the square root of that number. So in my calculator, I'm just going to find the square root of the answer. I'm going to show you what you can do real quick. Okay, so we're gonna do 11. Is this squared right here? Here? Yeah. 11 squared plus 25 squared minus 2 times 11 times 25. Where is it? Oh. Ah, there we go. Okay. 2 times 11 times 25, and then I need the cosine of 45. Okay. So I got this, and then I'm gonna do square root, which is right there, the square root of the answer that I have, which is that number up there. And so now I have what my answer would be. Okay. So you don't have to type all those values again. You can just use square root and then the answer, and it will pull that number down for you, just like when you're on your calculators. Okay. So then that means that x is equal to 18. I'm going to say approximately equal to 18.9 because you're rounding to the nearest 10. Okay. So you got to make sure that in order to get x in this step right here, you square root the number. Okay. So it looks like it's hard and it looks like it's a lot, but it's really not. You're just using your calculator. Okay. All right, everybody got this? We're ready to go on. You need a minute? All right, next one. If you have only the sides, if you have only the sides, and then we need to find angle L. We need to find angle L. We have only the sides. We need to find angle L. Okay. All right. So if I'm trying to find angle L, then the first thing I want to do is I want to label the side length. So here's angle L. So this is side L. So this is side L. This is side M. I don't know why this thing not being want to work sometimes. And this is side N. Okay. So we're trying to find angle L. So if we're trying to find angle L, that means we're going to start with L squared. So L squared is equal to M squared plus N squared minus 2M N cosine of L, right? Because the side and the angle always match. Okay. So the only thing that we want left on one side of the equation is going to be the cosine of L. So we need to move everything else to the other side. So the first thing I'm going to do is minus M squared and minus N squared on both sides. So I have L squared minus M squared minus N squared is equal to negative 2 times M times N times the cosine of L. Now stop there for a second. Does that make sense? So I'm still trying to get this cosine of L by itself. So all of this is multiplication. So that means I'm going to divide by negative 2 times M times N. So divide by negative 2 times M times N. Okay. And so then all of this, which I'm not going to write over again. So then all of this is going to be equal to the cosine of L, right? In order to find L, we're going to have to find the cosine inverse. And we're going to have to find the cosine inverse of all of these numbers here, right? So let's put all these numbers in, get a value, and then do the cosine inverse. Okay? All right, so L squared is, that's going to be 24 squared minus 27 squared minus 5 squared over -2 times m 27 times n, which is 5, right? Did I get it right? Okay, let's put this in our calculator. All right, and so I got, my calculator is crazy. I actually ended up getting 89 over 35. Excuse me, 89 over 135. All right, so then I'm going to just take the cosine inverse of this. So then the cosine inverse of 89 over 135. And you can just do cosine inverse of the second answer that you had. And I got that L is 48 point, round to the nearest degree. I got that L is 49 degrees. Did we all get that? 49 degrees? Questions, questions, questions. Okay, so I'm not going to give you an assignment to do, but you do have one problem that you need to complete. Okay, you're going to have to solve a triangle. So I'm going to put it up. You're going to work it out in your notes. You're going to take a picture and upload it, and that will be how you get your grade for today. Got it? So you have from now until the end of class, which means you got about 21 minutes, 22 minutes to get it completed. So I'm going to show you the picture. Make sure you copy the picture, do the work, and upload it to your to the assignment in Google Classroom. Here's your picture. It says solve triangle PQR, round to the nearest degree. You already have the side lengths, so that means you need to find the angle. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I was trying to click something else.